Well, g'day and welcome back to the shed. And today I've got two radios for you. This one, Philips B3X02A, I think, made by Philips Belgium. And the other one, on the other side of Australia, is a Philips 353A made by Philips in the UK. Now, that's over in New South Wales, and we also have two radio techs. So the other one, there's a bit of a story to that. I worked on it a couple of years ago, sent it over to New South Wales to a family member, went over to visit him recently and found out, or told me that it wasn't tuning FM stations right. The frequency was not what was showing on the dial. So in other words, it needs some sort of an RF alignment. So while I was over there, I called in to see my friend TECHO, Baz55. Now Baz is a great bloke and he's got a great channel. I've been watching him for quite a while now and I really enjoy it. He's a very knowledgeable bloke. So I thought I'd take the radio to him and we'd have a go at fixing it. So here's a brief look at what happened. If you want to see the full story, the best thing is to click on Baz's channel and have a look at it. I'll put a link up here, I'll put a link in the description and probably a card at the end of the video. So here we are in New South Wales trying to sort out this Philips 353A.
G'day guys, welcome back. This one's a little bit different video. I wanted to share something with you and also with a friend of mine.
So it's a bit of a long story. I fixed this radio up probably 2 years ago. I did do a video on it, several videos actually at the time, and I gave it to a family member that lives in Sydney. We shipped it off in a carton and whatever. So went to Sydney to visit them this week, and he tells me that he's got a few problems with it, and the main problem is that the FM frequencies don't line up on the dial, so it obviously needs some kind of RF alignment or something like that. Not too sure what's the matter with it, but since we were going through Orange, I thought I'd bring it to Baz. I knew Baz would fix it up because he can fix anything. So here we are. So let's have a look at it.
And another thing that I have actually told Don that he'll be fixing it and I'll do the videoing. So I think that's fair.
Well, I'm not at all sure that we agreed on that, Baz, but could be. Yeah. Now, I remember this set. It has the dial string from hell on it. So
you've got a video on this one, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I think I've got 2 or 3 videos on this one.
Yeah.
I'll put a link up on it. But yeah, so we're going to try and get the FM stations to line up with what it says on the dial.
So boils down to a little thing here. We think called a tuning drum. Can we vary this to alter the tuning gang? This is a theory at the moment. We're not sure what's going to happen here. But I'm sure Don will work this one out.
Yeah, right. Well, I think the first thing we've got to do is get it out of the cabinet and have a look at that tuning drum thing. So let's get on with that. I know this just clicks out from memory. Yep. And we just pull the knobs off and there's these 4 screws. Flathead screwdriver. Yep, I'll let you do that. It's your workshop.
This is your radio, Donnie. I'd say, well, you'll probably be the one fixing this one up.
Well, that's why I brought it to you, Baz. Yeah. Now, the drum will rotate only that far. That's it, which is a problem, I think.
There's no other way.
Yeah. Of doing it.
Because it strains it like the AM and FM are the same. It's not alignment. It's positioning.
Exactly. All right, let's see where that comes in. Managed to get a bit of adjustment on there. And so we'll just see how it lines up now. So we want to put a signal into it at, what do you reckon, 100 kilohertz? 90
meg will go.
Meg, yeah, we're on FM.
Yeah. Well, these things go from 88 to 100? 100 meg?
Yeah, on the dial, yeah.
So, we'll go in around the centre and see whether that
lines up.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm going to have to get in there and do another adjustment. But I think if I pull that valve out and maybe take this off, I can do the adjustment without taking the chassis out again, because I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, I don't think we'll take that out.
Not today.
Well, I don't think you'll take that out.
Well, I won't. You might. You're welcome if you want, Basil. You can go for it.
I would prefer to be doing some camera work and being on the outside of this radio.
That'll probably be all right, just like that.
I'd say so.
Actually, we want to turn the radio around so we can see what the dial's doing, don't we?
Yeah.
Might be a good idea.
Now, she's on and going. At least the dial light works now after, well, it did before, but it's still working after we've taken this chassis out.
Which is something.
And what people don't know, that we've probably come out about 3 hours after this video in the middle of it, trying to get this chassis back in here.
Yep, that was loads of fun. So we're right at the left end of the dial now. You've got it on,
She's on
90 megahertz. So 99, 98, 94, 92, 91.
Station fairly close.
90. There we go. Perfect. Well, that was that. We had fun anyway. So now to this one. Now this B3X02A. I think there's a few of these around. I think Dave Tipton did one, perhaps. I'm not sure. It looks pretty intact. It's got the piano keys here, but that all feels very stiff. It's got FM, MG, PQ, KGOC and LGGO. I have no idea what they mean, and I don't speak Belgian, so FM I suspect stands for FM. Anyway, let's turn it around, have a look in the back. I think this one's pretty much intact. I don't know whether it's been messed with or not. I know nothing about it, so let's see what we can find out. So let's see if we can get the back off it for a start. There's not much holding it on. Just looking at the back, it's got a voltage selector there, which is selected to 220. I can see 220 through the little window there. Loudspeaker, I think LS HP, so it'll be loudspeaker, pickup, and it's got this strange 5 pin plug for a pickup. Good luck finding a plug that'll go into that now. Okay, and so here we have the serial number, which is PL11469, I think. And Christoph from RetroTech tells me that he could identify the factory in Belgium that this was made in, and was near where he lived. Now over here we've got FM and AM aerials and a set of complicated little diagrams about how to attach the aerials. I'll try and work that out later. Anyway, there's only two of the, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only two of the 5 original screws left in it, and they're probably not the original ones anyway. Looks like they just, drop out. Put the back aside. It's intact, which is good. And in here we have the remains of a European plug. Had a look at this before. This does suggest at least that it hasn't been plugged in Australia anyway. So we'll see. Now let's just have a look inside. Let's tip it up a little bit. Oh yes, it does have a dial string, and it is a Philips. And I can see a dial string down in there and one there. But what scares me about this are these two things here. I can see a dial string there, and what scares me about this are these metal tubes. They seem to send the dial string down through the chassis into goodness knows what. And over here we have another pulley with another dial string on it. That appears to be a different type of dial string to the other one. So I've got the radio up on its end on the bench, and just looking at it, yes, it is classic Philips. So here we've got the dial string coming down through the top of the chassis via those metal flexible tubes that I showed you a minute ago, through to this unreasonably complicated looking pulley setup here. And yeah, that does, I don't know what this is all about. This must be some kind of an adjustment there. Thankfully it looks like it all works. I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that it stays that way and that I don't have to fix it. So just having a look at the trying to look across the primary of the transformer with this, and looking across the plug, I'm getting nothing. So just tracing this through, it comes out at the switch here, and one of these terminals is it. That's it, that one there. And the other side of the plug goes to, obviously, the other side here. Now this is a double pole switch. Anyway, I switched it off and on a number of times, and yeah, there's no continuity to these other terminals which apparently run to the transformer. So I'd say this switch is just not working. I'll check the other side of the mains. That's this one, I think. No, it's the other one. It's that one there. No continuity to that side either. But if I look across these two terminals, I should see the primary. Yep. So we should see something across the primary there, unless it's open circuit. Yeah, there we go. That's zeroed. Yep. So this is times 10. We're looking at about 300 ohms. Oh, sorry, 20, 30, 40, 30 or 40 ohms. I'll get the other meter out and just see what it does measure. So just looking across these here, this is the secondary, and we're seeing 38 ohms, 37.8, 765. There's a shouldn't be a capacitance in this. 30 odd ohms anyway, 37 ohms shall we say, across the primary. So that probably is okay. You never know what you're going to see, anything from 500 to 50. Who knows? Now the next thing I guess is I'll look at the secondary, if I can find where that goes into the rectifier valve, and that will be around here somewhere. Now there's the rectifier, so there'll be two wires coming from the transformer to it, and I see two brown wires there. That will be them, no doubt. Let's see if I've got anything there. $225 ohms. Okay, so that looks reasonably healthy. Our only obvious problem is that this switch is not working. So where do we go from here? I'm rather inclined to jumper up that switch and see if we can get some life out of this thing. Okay, so I've just soldered the power lead onto the switch terminals here, bypassing the switch. Now attach the other end of that to a plug using a chocolate block connector, and so we've got a plug on the other end. Over here I've got the variac that's set at 100 volts. I thought I'd start at 100, feeding into my newly made dim bulb box, and this one's got a readout on it. That's the reason I decided to change from the old breadboard one that I've had since I started. So that's off, I guess. It's on dim bulb. Okay, so it's only a Philips. Let's live dangerously and see what happens. So we've got 100 volts going in, Says they're 101.2. That actually agrees with the little meter on the variac. I never trusted this, but there you go. It's on dim bulb, so let's just turn it on, see if it goes bang. We've got a slight glow from the dim bulb, but not very much. 60. Why is that flashing? I'll turn that off and on again. $83. I'm sure it's not supposed to flash like that. And it's settled down now. Okay, 85 volts getting through to the radio. It doesn't seem to be doing much. The dim bulb is not showing much at all. I'll wind the voltage up a little bit. 89. Okay, so the radio is now seeing 109 volts, 110. I don't suppose we could expect to hear anything anyway out of that. I'm not sure which one the volume is. That's tuning, so it won't be that. Turn everything up. Alright, let's go up a little bit more. I could put it up on a thing like that so it's easier to read. Anyway, 130 volts. Going up. We've got a bit more of a glow now. $141. Still not a sound, but we've got more of a glow. Obviously no shorts in it, so $145 volts, 150. So the variac's now putting out around 250 volts. The radio's seeing 160 via the dim bulb. I'll wind the variac up to maximum. We've got 164. Now I'm hearing something. Just a buzz or a hum or something. And a crackle. MG. I'll take a guess that that is medium wave. It doesn't have an aerial on it. It does have a ferrite rod arrangement. But I'm certainly not hearing anything like reception. Just a hum. Not a filter cap kind of hum. It's higher than that. I'm getting something there. There we go, got a little bit of reception there. No, I did for a moment. Okay, so that's the most I can get at it. The radio is seeing 168 volts. I don't know if that's enough for it to run on. What I might do is dial down the variac and go off dim bulb. It's now seeing 116 volts, 158, 161, 170, that's 195 volts. Okay, so let's see. There's something there. I'll try FM, see if it does anything at all. Well, the pointer is moving. But again, no sign of actual reception. Ooh! Okay, I'll try it again. There we go, that sounds like reception.
And he was big in newspapers and radio. Walter Winchell. That was really well done by Constance. Very well done. Does she get to have another swing with that? She gets 2 swings.
Okay, it's very weak, but it's reception. That's on medium wave. I might just turn it around and put an aerial on that and just see what happens. Here we go.
Today, Cameron Beaumont on 6PR. O stands for Options Optometrist.
Okay, she works.
Owned and operated in WA. And O is the sound you'll make when you hear this high-quality deal on frames and lenses. Get 2 pairs of glasses or 1 pair of multifocal lenses for just $199. They might even be fully covered if you have a health fund with extras.
Oh, it's gone now, fading in and out. I suspect there's something not quite right with the RF section, but it's coming back again now.
Oh, it's the house up there on the left.
If you drive on red P plates, you can now only have one mate in the car with you. Remember, red plate, one mate. Penalties and exemptions apply. To learn more, search red plate, one mate. Authorised by the State Government Perth.
Find your outback spirit and explore.
Okay, let's just try FM. Whoa! Oh, that might be music.
Means every morning.
Sean, baby, I'm excited.
You get to wake up with Xavier Ellis and Katie Lamb doing stuff like this.
Great to be here. Great to be here, actually. Really.
Now that's only getting 200 volts. I'll just bring it up a little bit.
Dave and Katie.
Bearing in mind that this has old capacitors and who knows what in it.
Triple M.
We're back Monday.
Mailboxes, where tradies try and grow their business, posting their magnets and pamphlets.
Start with high pages. You get more jobs.
The mailbox shouts through a mouthful of junk mail.
Start with high pages.
Dave and Katie here. Everyone in WA agrees that recycling is a great thing to do.
You've got that right. In fact, by being a great thought, it's easy to find better places for our waste. G for gifting unwanted items.
R is for recycling.
Well, I don't want to push my luck. I'm not going to run it for too long without changing at least the filter caps and a few of those other things, but this is a goer. Now that isn't to say that it doesn't need work. It certainly does. It's got a few things wrong with it, to say the least. One thing I noticed after I turned the chassis back upside down is this cover over the FM section. The whole thing's loose. It's just flopping around. It could be shorting out the input or whatever. It's just off there. That's where the signal comes out, I presume. I don't know what chaos this has been causing, just flopping around like that. And also looking at these piano key push buttons here. When you push them, the entire mechanism moves. It's not very well folded down as well. Now if you look at this corner here, the whole chassis is bending there. It's not secured properly at all. I don't know if that's the way it was built. I'm not sure what's wrong there. Philips usually make better quality products from that, but this whole thing really is quite flimsy. Now the switch mechanism is stiffer than it should be. I understand that, and that'll probably put more force on it than normal. But gee, that's really not that great. Look at this resistor here, bending as you push the buttons. So now this whole panel here also moves. It's pretty unstable, and that's attached to the front panel. The whole thing just moves up and down. I think it would have had a sheet of plywood or fiberboard or something in there, and that would assist in holding it straight. That's missing, so I'll have to make something up that might go some way towards stabilising it. But it does concern me that it bends around so much. Just looking at this corner of the chassis here, there's a screw that goes in from the other side, which looks like it might be loose. It attaches this piece here to this metal piece along the side here, and it looks as if the screw might be loose. I am hoping to find some solution to this, because I don't know, I could probably find a way of bracing it up a bit, but I think at this point I probably need to take this out of the chassis and have a better look at things. Now, on the face of it, that seems pretty straightforward. Now that it's upside down, I can't see any grub screws in these knobs, so I presume they just pull off, so I'll start with that. And yes, one knob off, and it's got a little spring behind it. Okay. Don't know what that's about, but I'll keep it with the knob. Put that one there. Now this one. Again, a little spring behind it. Okay. This one has a switch attached to it, a push-pull switch, and I have no idea what it does. And again, a spring. These springs intrigue me. I don't think I've seen that before. And being not very bright, I have done quite a number of Philips radios. And as expected, a spring on the last one. I'm not sure what their purpose is, but I'm not going to remove them. Now, will these, yes, they have, oh look, little golden backing plates. There you go. That's something unusual that I haven't seen before. They're a bit scratched up. I wonder if they're reversible. Yeah, they appear to be. Yeah, I'm sure they'll polish up okay. That's assuming we get this thing going and worth it. There we go. So there's 4 of those. Now, what else is holding this thing in? Nothing that I can see. I'm not sure how this dial pointer thing works, and being Philips, it's bound to be some diabolical thing. But what I think I'll do is undo these screws. They seem to hold everything together, and just see how far I get with trying to slide the chassis out. Fairly tight. I better be a bit careful here. I'll take out the 2 diagonal ones, loosen the others off, because I don't want to drop the chassis on the top of the cabinet. I'll take this one off, and it will have the earth lead attached to it. That's the back right, looking at the front of the cabinet. And the back left also has an earth tag. Well, they were being careful, obviously. Pity there's nothing to attach them to, because that panel's gone now. Yes, the chassis is moving as I undo these, so I think I'd better turn it back up. Okay, I'll just put, that'll do, something under the end of the chassis to just take the weight as I take the screw out. There we go. Okay. Alright, now we'll tip him back this way, and let's just see if it comes out, and if so, how far before we strike an obstacle. So far so good, he says, without any confidence. What's going on there? I presume, being a Phillips, we'll be stretching a dial cord or something. There'll be something that'll go snap and fall apart as soon as we get this out. I'm not seeing what it is yet. Now, we do have a very tight lead to the speaker. That's what's holding it at the moment. And that is soldered. Okay, I'll just push it in a little bit, and we'll get that speaker lead. Yeah, these leads both go to this terminal, and it has two tabs on it, and that has a wire that goes around to the other side. They're soldered. I can't really get in there easily to desolder it, so I'm just going to cut it. I don't like them being quite that short anyway, so I'll solder something else in there. Okay, so cut you off there, and cut you off there. That way I've got a little bit of the colour left on the speaker, so I know which one went where. Alright, let's just see how far we get now. That's looking promising. The next thing that's going to hold us up is the magic eye tube. I didn't see that working when I had the power on it. The whole thing's held in with a single screw, so I'll just undo it. Pull the whole magic eye out. And I just managed to drop the magic eye on the bench. It's got this shield around it. I don't think it probably works anyway, but I'll just lay it on top there. And that looks like that. We're out of the cabinet, so that's good, I suppose. I'll put this aside, and there it is. It looks about as dusty as any chassis I've ever seen. No obvious damage. This is a strange arrangement, holding the tuning cap steady by bracing it to this. A lot of dust in that tuning cap. It's been left open, and it's just collected a whole lot of fluff in there. Let's turn it around and look at the front. So now we can see another wondrous Phillips dial string arrangement. This one looks truly horrible, and I'm very much hoping that it doesn't break. Now, this is obviously the FM tuning, and this mechanism that raises and lowers ferrite cores in a coil, and you can see the top of the ferrite core coming up above the surface there when I wind this back. I hope I don't have to adjust this. And there is some kind of a clutch arrangement when you turn it onto AM, and I don't know how well that'll work. But pressing that, it now moves the AM tuner, and as I said, there's a huge amount of fluff in this capacitor here, but it works. I better study it while I can. Looks like a dial light was once living in here. It's gone now. I just took the screw out of here, and the thread on it is entirely worn away. I don't think I've seen that before, but I might just try replacing it with a new self-tapper. That might just work. Okay, just replacing that screw with another self-tapper, and that's tightening up well. No, that is going around. I'm going to have to use a nut and bolt. Okay, well, with that sorted out, I think the next thing I do might be to give it a basic clean up, just knock some of the dust off this thing. Well, that's looking a bit better. Now I'll just probably go over and just give the switch contacts a bit of a squirt. This one works from this end knob. Hopefully that'll sort it out. Is there a contact on the back there? Yeah, I think there is. And I'll go over these switch contacts underneath the chassis in a minute. I just want to lubricate all the points on top. I do not want this dial string to break or anything at all to go wrong with it, so I'll do that. Well, I've got it upside down on a makeshift stand here, and just looking at the underside, this loose shield thing on the FM section, as far as I can tell, that just presses on somehow like that. That seems to be it. That's fairly firm, so long as nothing actually jars it or bangs it, that should be fine. Now, the other thing I want to do while I've got it upside down is just clean all those switch contacts there, because they look pretty manky and they didn't sound all that great. So here we go. I'll just give each of the switches a bit of a spray with this deoxit. Expensive stuff, but I must admit it does sound pretty good. I'm not sure how to get to those contacts. These ones here. And these ones here. Now I think they're just long wave or something silly like that, so, but they still need to work probably for the rest of the radio to work. Hair or something in there. Just take that out. Yep, that's that. I think the contacts for this switch must be on the other side. I just can't really see them very well. Yes, it does look as if they might be in there. I'll see if I can access them from here somewhere. No. Perhaps if I take the dial plate off, I can get in from behind there. I think that might be the go. Yeah, there's nothing. Oh, that spring there. What does that do? That just holds these up, which are a guide for the pointer. They don't actually, it's not dial string. Alright, I'm willing to loosen this in that case. If it does in fact loosen, yes it does. This needs a good clean up anyway. Find a better screwdriver. In fact, this whole thing might not have to be disconnected if I'm lucky. Okay, I'll just unhook that from here. I'm in danger of doing something to the FM pointer here if I'm not careful. Okay, I don't know if I can get to the contacts down there anyway. No, I can't. So that was a waste of time. Alright, I'll put this back. I'll clean it up in place because I don't want to have to disconnect that FM pointer. Okay, so that hooks onto there. See, I'm already in trouble and I just took the dial plate off. Is that hooked on? It is. Miracles. That goes there, goes under there, pulls across and hooks onto there. I think that looks right. Except it's crossed. Turn it over. Oh, I hate those creaking noises it makes. There. So that will now hopefully run along all right. Okay, I wonder if I took this off, I could lift these keys out and possibly get into that switch from the other side. Now looking at what else needs doing under here, there's these two capacitors here which I'm suspicious of. I suspect they're paper capacitors covered in some sort of tarry, or perhaps it's plastic stuff, I don't know. They might be perfectly alright, but they do go to the plate of the EL84. One goes to ground, the other one also goes to ground when it's switched, so it goes to the switch and then to ground, I think, when it's switched to AM. Now there's these two electrolytics, there's one here, one of them is going to be the discriminator cap, one's going to be the cathode bypass for the EL84, I think it's this one, and there's another suspicious cap there. I'll test these and see how they look, and can't really tell if they're leaking. Yeah, they've got voltage on them, might be best to replace them. Now another thing I'm going to have to deal with is this electrolytic can. It's a dual one. It's got 100 UF and a 50 UF in this can. Now I can put 47s in it. I could make the 100 up out of two 47s, but I won't get two in there end to end. They won't fit. I could bodge it up so that the end of one is sticking up through the inside, but I don't think there's room to do that. Really, that's not going to work. I could maybe put the 50 in there. I'll put 147 in that can. Of course, these are Carl's capacitors. They're rated at 600 volts. This is 100 and a 50 at 250 volts. So I don't know where I get 250 or 300 volt rated caps. Perhaps I can find some, then they would be smaller. But this is what I've got. The other thing that occurs to me, I could probably put two caps, one on top of the other, inside the chassis here. It would just fit, I think. Just looking at it, and put the other 50 in the can. The can has to stay because it holds the ferrite rod aerial up. And obviously you can turn the aerial around by loosening this clamp and steering it to wherever you want. Anyway, what I think I'll do now I've cleaned these switches, I might just hook it up again and see if that's made any improvement. It helps to eliminate faults if you can just clean the contacts and whatever, then you know where you're going from there. It just makes it easier. Alright, I don't think there's anything I need to hook up apart from the speaker, so I'll just strip these back a little bit and hook that up. So 1 and 2. I don't know. Yeah, I'll put an aerial on it as well. Alright, well I've got the speaker hooked up, I've got an aerial on it. I've gone back to my old dim bulb tester because I've pulled my new one to bits to make a couple of minor changes to it. Luckily I kept the old one for a spare. So, turning on, fairly bright glow, dimming off, and hopefully all will be well. Waiting for it to warm up. The globe should be brightening up now as the valves start to conduct, and we might soon hear something, or not. Not sure if that's volume. I think it might be. One of them will be tone. I'm hearing a crackle there. Yeah, that's volume.
Seems like he's a very leader. He's very good at mimicking people, sort of tongue-in-cheek. So you need to guess who Jacko is. We'll play a little game where he'll read some lines from movies. So that'll lighten it up, I hope. That's good. Alex first, we'll talk movies with him. He's our movie reviewer. Oh, Glenn, it's just all jam-packed. There's a lot happening here.
Signs of life. And what that says to me is that, you know...
Well, that's actually sounding pretty good, considering.
But actually it happened really quickly on Earth. Because that first 500 million years... The Earth's crust is a huge volume. If we think about how much volume we have beneath our feet until we reach the point where the rock is too hot to sustain.
Now that's on dim bulb, of course. And we're getting audio with the volume at minimum, which is a little bit strange. Okay, let's try FM. I'll take it off dim bulb. I think it's okay. There's obviously no real shorts or any apparent danger there. Watching for smoke though. Here we go.
So there's a lot of research going on studying these organisms that live deep beneath our feet. The latest estimates actually...
Now again, that's minimum volume.
We think that probably around
doesn't go any lower than that.
On Earth, 50%.
That's with the switch off. Yeah, I think there's something not quite right with this pot. Okay, turning on to FM. And that is a lot better action than it was. No talking on FM.
Yeah, let's get it happening. Local, this is a brand new Australian artist we want to introduce you to every single night, and tonight, this song isn't even out in the world yet.
Master, so this is our very first plate. The world?
The world.
And this is just a little group coming out of Tassie.
That's right. They're called Sumner. You might have heard some of their songs in the past. They've done a couple of tunes.
Okay, so that's sounding reasonably good. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of distortion there, but it's not bad for not having replaced anything yet.
Song as well, which they actually made with Now, Nick and Peter.
Der Versuch glückte nicht. Mittlerweile werden wieder...
Joining us. I'm back tomorrow night. George Gray on the way next.
Now I think that's 101 point something, not too sure.
So the pathogens, the things that make...
Back to medium wave. Now what are the other two bands? There's, I'm just checking the dial here. The next one is shortwave and then long wave, I think. Alright, so let's just see if we get anything off them. Volume up. I think this is shortwave. Yep. Lots of shortwave stations coming in there. Okay. I won't worry about listening to it all tonight, but shortwave clearly works. Now long wave should not pick up anything. I mean, there's obviously reception there. Might get an aircraft beacon or something at most. Okay, well that's working very well actually without anything having been done to it. I think I'll check those capacitors, see if I can find out any more information about those black ones, whether they're reliable or not, and see what they measure. And I think I will also change the filter caps regardless, because that's an old capacitor, and they will be pretty much end of life if they're not leaky now. Well, that's about as far as I'm going to go with this radio in this video. There's obviously still a bit more work to be done to it. There's those filter caps, the other capacitors, and possibly an alignment. I do want to change the discriminator cap in the FM. I think there's a little bit of distortion there. But gee, that's a pretty good result for just cleaning the contacts, isn't it? Now, go to Baz's video, have a look at the one of us fixing up the other Philips. It's a good watch, it's really worth it. So check out Baz's channel, subscribe while you're there, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.